In this episode, we interview the amazing Janine Finney, co-author of The Flip Flop CEO and Does the Shoe Fit? She shares with us how she went from complete naysayer and skeptic to network marketing's biggest proponent. She also shares some great comparisons between her corporate life and her life in network marketing. Hello, everyone, and welcome. We are so excited about this episode because we have the amazing Janine Finney with us. And for those of you who don't know her, she has a personal story for Sherry and I because she was instrumental in really helping both of us grow our network marketing businesses and really just instrumental in giving us a vision and somebody that we could relate to. And you've just been an amazing mentor, and I can't wait to talk about your books. I can't wait to talk about your story because you, like me, were the biggest naysayer, and I can't wait to share. But Sherry's going to give you a more proper introduction.
Yes. So Janine Finney spent the first 30 years of her career as a sales executive in corporate America. Then, at the age of 50, Janine began a new career that she never expected to pursue, network marketing. When Janine's daughter, Lory, shared her desire to join a network marketing company after graduating from college, she quickly discovered that her mom had a very different opinion about this type of business than she did. The strongly opposing views and the battles that ensued are what inspired them to co-author a book called The Flip Flop CEO, which has sold over 100,000 copies. Yay! And it's one of our favorite network marketing books. And then 5 years later, they wrote a sequel to their first book called Does the Shoe Fit? These two books provide a sassy, myth-busting look at the controversial subject of network marketing. Having been a skeptic herself, Janine is passionate about bringing clarity to the 21st century version of this business-in-a-box model. She believes that many women are searching for the freedom and flexibility it provides, but don't recognize it because of the stigma surrounding the topic. Today, Janine has designed a lifestyle that gives her the freedom to plan her work around her life rather than her life around her work. She winters in Scottsdale to be near her 2 daughters, their husbands, and her 5 grandchildren, and spends summers traveling in an RV with her husband, Doug. They are avid fly fishermen, and they're just overall wonderful people. So yay, Janine, welcome. We are so happy to have you.
Okay, so start by telling us, your daughter, Lory, came to you and was all excited because she found the golden ticket, and what did you do?
Well, she absolutely did not fit into corporate America. She was miserable. She cried every Sunday night. And I thought she was crazy because I did that for 30 plus years. And she discovered network marketing and she thought, oh my gosh, I'm highly qualified. I have a degree in marketing. And she came home and told me because she thought that I had never heard of it. Because of course I would have told her if I had heard of it. She told me about what she thought she was going to do and what she had discovered that we could do together. And I wanted absolutely nothing to do with it. I had an experience 30 plus years ago where I was invited over to somebody's house for dinner. And I thought I was the only guest. And I arrived and there were cars parked out front. And I went and there were a bunch of people there. And it was a business opportunity presentation. And 30 something years ago, people were actually taught to lie, to say whatever they could to get you there. And so it left me with a really, really bad taste in my mouth for this profession. And I really thought never in a million years will I ever do this because I just did not want to be one of those people. I didn't want to have anything to do with any of that. And, finally, I got over myself.
So what really changed? Like, was there a point that you said, oh, wait, now I get it? Or what was kind of the progress for you to do a complete 180?
It was instant. It was truly just like a light switch. I went from a whole year of saying no, absolutely no way. Lory thought she could not understand why I was being so negative and so resistant because normally I would encourage her to do whatever she believed she could do. And she couldn't believe that we could see something so differently. And so for a whole year, I would just not talk about it. I would not try the products. I would not have anything to do with it. And then we were on a plane ride coming back from Denver. Lory had fallen asleep and I was desperate for something to read. And I picked up this little book and I read it. And in probably 20 minutes, I went from no, never, ever will I do this to, oh my gosh, I think I was born to do this. And so Lory woke up and I was completely a different person. It just absolutely changed my perception of the way that I saw everyone doing network marketing. And so it was kind of a little bit of a cheesy book. I mean, it wasn't, but it was it was super simple, super basic, but the message was profound in that it really did make me do an instant paradigm shift.
Well, and I think maybe we should just backtrack a little bit and let people know about your career, because you did have a corporate career for quite a while and you thought that that was really the only path possible. So if you want to share a little bit about your corporate life and how that maybe didn't end up the way that you thought it would, and how that really helped solidify your decision to move forward.
Yes. Towards the end of my career, for the last 10 years, I had always done business development and sales. And the last 10 years, I had been working for a company that I absolutely loved. I loved what I did. I loved everything about it. And the company was sold. And instantly I was left with no job. And I had no idea what I was going to do, because it was such a unique service that we offered that it wasn't like I could just go get another job doing what I did. And so I was really in a place where I was looking for something, but I was so conditioned. And I think this happens so many times to people in corporate America. I was used to life being hard. I was used to getting up in the dark and coming home in the dark and working, the weekends and just being crazy busy all the time. And I just thought that's the way it was supposed to be. So the truth is, everything about network marketing sounded way too good to be true. And I believe that anytime something sounds too good to be true, it is. But I was looking to replace my corporate job. And I was looking for things that were what I thought my skills would transition to. And I was looking for a six-figure income, and I was looking for something that I would love to do because I had experienced that. And I really wanted to be able to travel more than typically you can with a job. You can't, usually just start out taking more time off. And so I was looking for all these things that I never in a million years thought that network marketing would be able to fulfill. So I was just really a product of someone that was so conditioned to think my life had to look a certain way that I didn't see what was right in front of my face.
I think that happens to a lot of us. We are conditioned like, let's climb the corporate ladder. And then we hope when we get to the top, there's fulfillment. And for both Sherry and I and you, we get to the top and we're like, wait, this is what I've been working so hard for. And then network marketing is this completely different paradigm. But so you wake up from the point, you read this book, Lory wakes up, you land, and you're all in. What are some of the first things that you decide that you do, and how do you make that transition?
It was really so easy for me. I just really saw this. I approached it very much like I would if I had gotten a new job, because that's what I was accustomed to. So I just applied everything that I would have if I had done anything else. I treated it very much like a real job. I treated it very professionally. And I just went about everything very methodically. It was just like, I was going to just build this. And my skills happened to transition really, really well. And I think one of the beauties of network marketing is that you get to choose who you work with. So Lory knew she wanted to work with me, and because I have different skills than she does. And she, it turns out, has very different skills than I do. And so when you're able to choose someone that you really want to do life with and that you really enjoy being with, and that has different skills than you do, it can be just such a beautiful thing. Because I was really good at getting appointments. I was really good at follow through. And Lory had spent the whole year that I would not listen to her. Mm-hmm. She really had not. A lot of people think, oh, did you join her after a year because she was successful? No. She actually had not really achieved success yet, but she was certain. I mean, what I really, really give her credit for and is so important is to never give your power away. Never let somebody else tell you what's right for you. And she did not budge. She knew that she was on it. And so once I came around, she was really good at explaining. She had spent the year really understanding the policies and procedures, the compensation plan. And so she was really very sharp. Once I would get us in front of someone, she would be able to, tell them what she had discovered. So it was really, we were a great team, like you guys are.
Well, and we were just talking about that earlier, because we definitely have different skill sets, but it makes it that much more fun. And I think one of the biggest differences between network marketing and corporate America is you really are able to work as a team and leverage each other's strengths. Whereas in corporate America, oftentimes you're afraid to partner with anyone or afraid to admit that you don't have a certain skill set, just for fear of what might happen. And it's just totally the reverse here.
Exactly. That is so true. And, when you come into this with that kind of experience, you're so used to having to look over your shoulder all the time. And, you just would never think of looking for somebody that's better than you, because you would normally be threatened by that in corporate America. So yeah, it's a really great place for people to come together that have different skills. I have to say though, and I was listening to a podcast yesterday about some partners, and it was a completely different business, but just, it can be challenging too when you have different work styles. And I would say ultimately for Lory and I, there were challenges because I'm a baby boomer. I'm somebody with a really good work ethic. I, love to work, especially something I love to do. And Lory loves to have fun and play and doesn't love to work so much. And so, she kind of got tired of not having her mom anymore, having me be kind of this, I was just sort of, I love the fact that we could do our work just while we were doing life. But Lory kind of didn't love always that, I might bring something up in the middle of a birthday party or something. It has definitely challenges as well. And I think hindsight is 2020. I think what I would do differently is really be more intentional as we got into the relationship and have agreements and, set boundaries and determine who is going to do what. And I mean, you guys probably know, all of those things too. I've threatened to write another book called The Mess Behind Success.
I love that.
Because honestly, it can be messy sometimes when you work with someone that is family,
Absolutely. Yeah. I love that new title. So I hope you write it, and we'll be happy to contribute to the mess behind the success. So you start your network marketing business. Now, obviously, you have friends that are just shocked and surprised, right? So what was some of the initial feedback you got from people?
In the very beginning, I would not really, I was kind of just had this shield on, and I saw what I saw. And even if they didn't really see it, I was just not going to let go. And I was just going to keep, as long as I had the opportunity to sit down with somebody and walk them through what I saw. And if they were not interested on the other end, that would be fine. But I did have some bad experiences. I mean, I did have some people that I was, friends with before, and this is just such a misunderstood, topic that people, and I think it's gotten a lot better in the last, 15 years since we've been involved. But it used to be, if you Google something, sometimes you just get this awful information that was not accurate, but people would, think it was. And so that's, ultimately that is why we decided that we had to write our books, because there are a lot of great network marketing books out there, but I don't believe that there are any that are written for a skeptic. That doesn't just, most of them are for people that already drank the Kool-Aid, that think this is great. But the truth is, my experiences 35 years ago were real. They happened. And, to try to discount that and try to act like it didn't really happen is not, I think that turns people off. So we wanted to write a book. We really didn't want to write a book, but we felt like we needed to write a book that met the skeptic where they were and called out every single one of the elephants in the room and just talked about them instead of just acting like they don't exist.
So what do you think are like the biggest misconceptions? Like when you wrote your first book, what are the biggest misconceptions that people have?
I think for one thing, there's the good old pyramid scheme, and if you ask somebody what that means, I'm not sure that they really even know what it means. But
True.
For me, what I did kind of have a concept that was similar to that was a turnoff for me. And what I believed is that the person that sponsored my daughter was trying to talk to me because I thought she was trying to get me in because it benefited her and that she was going to sit on top and watch us do all the work below. I think a lot of people think that timing is a huge component. Timing and luck are huge components to being successful in network marketing, and that's not true. But what I love and what I came to learn is that you can actually pass your sponsor. You can actually make more income than the person that sponsored you and be more successful. And so that was really enlightening to me. I liked, understanding that. And, I think a lot of people think you have to be a really good salesperson. And honestly, I think that it is so much, doing this business is so different than people think initially. They think it's about sales. And really, they don't think about the fact that we share things that we love with our friends all the time. And we never think of that as selling. And so there's just so many things that look different from the outside. I also really didn't want to be the kind of makeup lady, or, I had an experience of what people that do this kind of business, what their day looks like and what their activity looks like. And I just had no desire to sit around a table with bowls for facials or, I just didn't see myself doing that. And I think a lot of people really come across as being desperate, and they just kind of become stalkers. And, there's a lot of unattractive things that we see. And what we don't realize is that it's the person, it's not the profession. So many people throw the baby out with the bathwater in this business. They see a little bit of something and they just say, that's the way everybody is. And it's not. So those are some of the things that really held me back.
Well, and I think you just hit the nail on the head, because every single profession has something that you could complain about, and it ends up being the person, just like you said. And so I think having that clarity of just knowing that every profession has its pros and its cons, and to weigh those and, really make the decision for yourself, not based on what somebody else has told you, but on what you've learned. And I think that's what you did so well, because you had so many misconceptions to start with, and you just said, okay, I'm going to just go for it and see what happens. And I love that.
Well, and the barrier to entry in this profession is so low that, with any other profession where you can achieve this kind of success, there are other requirements. Maybe you have to have a degree, or you have to, have an internship. You have to do a lot more to be qualified for other comparable professions as far as income opportunity. And it is, it's just so easy to get into this and so easy to get out of it. And I think what happens a lot too is that what typically happens with this business, unfortunately, is that they get kind of drug in by a friend. The friend doesn't know what they're doing. And they say, let's go do this. And so it's the blind leading the blind. They don't have any kind of particular plan. And, so then when they just sort of flounder and don't achieve success quickly, they leave. And I think it's this, our second book really was written because of that need. I think that, there's so many people that get in and out. And so it skews the numbers and makes the numbers really look inaccurate as far as the success rate. And we felt like people need to have the right expectations getting into this business. Working for a paycheck is very different than working for freedom and for ongoing income. And so if you have the wrong expectations going in and you think that you're going to just, put in 8 hours and get paid for 8 hours, this is a very much more delayed gratification. But we would never expect to go to the gym and work out one day and all of a sudden, look different, or for a week or for a month. And yet, if we didn't go into that with the right expectations, why would we suffer through, all that we do to achieve success in being physically fit? So there's just a lot of things that I think need to be explained up front. And so Does This Shoe Fit is really more of a bridges the gap between traditional 9-to-5 and network marketing. And in my opinion, they are two different worlds. And so it's important to know that going in, I think.
What do you think, had surprised you the most once you started your business and you realized how different corporate was to network marketing? What were some of the things that you were like, oh my God, I can't believe that I've been missing out on this? Like, what surprised you the most and that you like the most?
Oh my gosh, everything. It truly is. I remember Lory and I, when we were first getting started, we were driving downtown Phoenix because we were going to go to visit an attorney friend, a girl that I wanted to talk to about the business. And we were just in that atmosphere downtown and watching in the heat of Phoenix in suits going to, the courthouse. And I was just thinking, oh my gosh, these people, if they knew that they could be doing something else. But it is just having the freedom to open up your calendar and put all of the important things in there first, and then do your work around that. I mean, it isn't as if you don't ever need to do the work, but when you get to do it on your own schedule, when you decide it's, if you get to do something that's really important to you first, and then you're going to work around that, it doesn't even feel like work. So I think just the everything about this business, you can get paid well, that you can earn trips, that you can, just that you can do life with people that you love. I mean, look at all the people that work so hard waiting for the weekend. And I did that for so many years. And I would, put up with Monday through Friday. So on the weekends, I could be with my family and do things that I love to do with them, or working all year so you could have this little vacation. I mean, just the ability to really live a completely different lifestyle is so wonderful that there's just no way to go back to anything else after you've experienced this. It's the best kept secret.
Absolutely. And I was just going to say, when you were talking about, going downtown and seeing people in the heat and not being able to control their schedule, that's really what corporate's all about. So what would the advice be that you would give to somebody in corporate who is actually looking at network marketing as an alternative?
I would say to really understand the business model and just make sure that you understand it before saying no to it. I mean, I know that this business isn't right for everyone. And it's hard for me anybody that's doing corporate, if they understood it, I think they would be doing it. I can't help but say that. I know that that's probably not say, but it's true. So I would just say, really, make sure that you educate yourself. I really do think reading our books, and it's not like I'm trying to sell books, but I do think that, the Flip Flop CEO is a girlfriend to girlfriend, sassy, addresses all of the misconceptions, super easy, fast read, and Does This Shoe Fit is going to really help you understand the differences between corporate and network marketing. And, so go in with your eyes open, make sure that you begin with the end in mind, know what it is that you want, because not everyone even has the same goals with the business. I mean, some people are looking for retirement income, long-term income. Some people are looking for right now money. And, so and the truth is you can have it all. You can have whatever it is. It's a vehicle that you get to use the way that suits you best.
Well, I think, when I started, I was super skeptical, just like you, Janine. I didn't understand the industry at all. And really reading like your books, The Flip Flop CEO, just gave me a much bigger purpose and vision. And then I started to read other books, but yours really put everything in perspective. And then your second book, I think, just kind of puts the nail in the coffin for people to really understand that network marketing is a viable business. It can pay you more than corporate. It can fulfill you more than corporate. It can give you a lifestyle and surround you with people that you might like you said. And I think all those things really surprised me. But I did have to read and I had to learn because I didn't understand this business at all. And so your books made a huge difference in just understanding the industry.
Good. I'm glad that they helped. And honestly, I just think that I can't imagine really why anyone that really takes the time to understand this wouldn't want to do it. Because even if they're happy with what they're doing now, it's not a matter, and I think you proved this so beautifully, Kim, that it's not a matter of having to quit your job. The people that are most successful and most busy are usually very organized, and they can do this, business right alongside what they're already doing. So that's another misconception, I think, for a lot of people, but you can just do this. It's a commute time business, and then match your income and then decide if you want to keep doing what you're doing.
I think that's so true. I mean, I built my business, on my way to work, on my way home. And then I decided that I wanted to get out of corporate. But I think what people don't realize is this is a great plan B. It's a great way to have another stream of income. Most people join to have that extra income. And then people like you and me, Janine, we realized, wait, I could replace my corporate income. I could get out of my job. Like I started because I thought it was going to be just extra income. And I think that's the beauty too, is you get to choose. And, we've been talking now more than ever. It's so important to have some backup plan, another stream of income, and an online business. I mean, those things are critical in the time we're living in, no matter when you're listening to this, because it's just going to become more and more important.
Exactly. And, I just was thinking as you were talking, Kim, about something that you did that was pretty cool. Because you had done well and because you were making the income you were in network marketing, it allowed you to go back to your employer and negotiate things. You were able to cut back on your hours. You were able to kind of design that to make it more attractive too. So that's another huge benefit that you got from this.
Yeah, it's really just, I think we all three agree. It is about choices and being able to do what you want when you want, to not have to think about whether you have to ask somebody for time off, to not have to think about the financial repercussions, but just choices.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think entrepreneurship is something that a lot of people dream about, but they don't necessarily consider network marketing entrepreneurship. But I will tell you, there is no other entrepreneurial model that allows what network marketing allows. And I know you were talking a little bit earlier about, people come and people go. But if you're a true entrepreneur, you know that you're not going to be getting rich quick. You will not be making or replacing your income the first year in business. Yet so many people think that when they start network marketing versus a traditional entrepreneurial venture. And so,
Exactly. Well, it'll entrepreneurial adventures. I'm glad you brought that up because I think a lot of corporate people are so corporate that maybe they have never explored entrepreneurship. And for me, I was not a huge dreamer because for so many years I had my nose to the grindstone that I wasn't thinking about entrepreneurship. So when I really took that pause, I had the opportunity to think about it. And Lory and I started thinking about what would we want to do. But with most things, either some entrepreneurs, a lot of people are doing what they love and thinking the money will follow. Well, the truth is they're not making enough money. They're not really increasing their corporate income. Maybe they're kind of happier, but they're not really doing that well. And, I think that just being able to have this business in a box that is not, if you buy a franchise, if you do something else, you are buying a job. I mean, you really are going to have to work at the job. You're not going to have the freedom to do it around your life like you are with this, which is really, really different. So compared to the other options, compared to most options that you have as an entrepreneur, this is really something that I think people need to understand before they discount this.
We agree completely. So as we kind of wrap up, tell everyone, and we'll also put it in the show notes, where they can find you, how they connect, and what's next with you. And then we always ask everyone one last question. So, but first tell us how to find you.
Okay. So our books are available on our website, theflipflopceo.com, and also through Amazon. The Flip Flop CEO is available in Audible and Kindle, and Does This Shoe Fit is available in Kindle and hard copy through Amazon. So, but if you want hard copy of books, go to the Flip Flop CEO.
And then you have a Facebook group as well, and Instagram and all of that.
Yes. Thank you for saying that. Yes.
Awesome. And so the last question that we just always ask everybody is, how has network marketing changed your life? And I know you've shared a little bit, but really think about what has been the biggest impact on your life and how has it really changed your life?
It has completely changed my life. I mean, everything about my life has changed. I have become much more of a dreamer than I was before. And, it really is a personal development course disguised as a business. So, you get better, you grow personally in this business, except you don't have to pay for it like you do when you're in corporate America and going to your therapist all the time. But it's really changed my life, just the quality of my life, being able to be there for all of my grandbabies being born. And, I was a single mom a lot of the time when my daughters were growing up. So I didn't get to be at school and on the trips and all of those things. And so it's allowed me the opportunity to be that as a grandmother. So I just feel so blessed by this business.
Well, and we feel so blessed to have you in our life, and we appreciate you being on with us today.
Thank you. It's such a pleasure. I love you guys so much. So thank you for having me.
We love you too, and thanks so much.